So good afternoon, everyone. Let me start introducing myself for you all. So my name is Badr Barham. I'm working in Alibaba as a cloud solution architect, covering the META region, Middle East, Africa, and Turkey. So for our today enablement, we will be talking about Alibaba industry solutions and covering different points, which we will start it with our agenda. So for the first agenda I will be talking about is about Alibaba Cloud Solutions for offices. What the mean of offices? Means any company or any enterprise which has an office that it's sure, for sure they will require such a solution or such a products and services, either on public cloud or on a private cloud. Then later on, we'll be speaking about the solutions, which is always looked by the government. And then we'll talk about Alibaba new solution, which is called New Retail. That is a new a new way of mixing the online and offline commerce and e-commerce platforms together, extend the service from business to business, business to customer, business to customer, and so on. Then at the end, we will be talking about what different solution oil and gas companies can benefit out of it. So starting from Alibaba Cloud Solution for the offices. So for today, I actually created this table. This table is showing not all of Alibaba Cloud products, is only like I have chosen the most important products for the market at the moment. So, and I have split it into different phases. So starting from infrastructure phase, then to the data intelligence phase, then ended by the application engines phases. So starting from infrastructure phase, which is required for any enterprise, any company, any office, anyone who wants to establish any product or establish any business, he would like an infrastructure. So the infrastructure has three main components. The first one is computing, which including the servers and so on. Then next, he will ask about the networking, because about the connectivity to the internet, to the local connectivity, and so on. Then at the end, he needs the storage in order to store his data. So these are the main components of infrastructure as a service. Let's start when we talk about computing. When we talk about computing, we do have ECS, Elastic Computing Services, is the main product of our computing products. This main product is basically a virtual machine, which we can compare it, it's the server. So we can call it, it's the server of Alibaba. And ECS of Alibaba is supporting different models. And let's start with not from the payment models. Let's start talking about from the technical models. So it supported the normal CPU and RAM instances or virtual machines, and as well it support heterogeneous instances. Heterogeneous instances means it's based not only in CPU, it's based as well in GPU. So if you do have an application which required a GPU performance instead of CPU, then you can as well get the GPU heterogeneous computing inside the ECS. Then in ECS, it's giving you a variety number of payment methods. So you can pay as you go. Pay as you go means you will be charged per second of usage for the resources and billed per hour. So that will make your life easier and more flexible in case if you are still testing the environment, or if you are just doing some like a project which you don't need to invest in that project. You need to start figuring out the market needs and so on. You just need to go on and the project. Once it is stable, then you can for sure make it as a permanent server. So at the moment, in order to have that flexibility, you can choose that pay-as-you-go model. Then you have a subscription. So in subscription, it does not mean a commitment. This is an important compared to the other cloud providers. So when we talk about subscription, either you go for monthly or annual. So you will be paying for that resources in advance, which will achieve you discounted price against the pay-as-you-go model, the first model which we talk about. Then later on, if you want more and more discounted price and you are already sure about your infrastructure sizing and you need to pay for it, then you can convert it to reserved instances. So you can reserve it for 1 year or 3 years. That will give you an extra discounted price over the basic price. Then later on as well, one of the main features that Alibaba Cloud providing within the computing is the autoscale function. Autoscale function is working together with the server load balancer from network. So I will describe both of them at the same time. So server load balancer is a node. That node, it maintains the distribution of the load between, for example, 2 servers, 4 servers, 3 servers, whenever you want below that SLB. So that will split all the workload on your backend servers, which hosting your application in different ways, depending on the algorithm that you will assign for that distribution. That will make your application high available and as well stable for the infrastructure itself. Then autoscale function, what's the meaning of autoscale? Autoscale will come here to work with server load balancer and ECS to scale your instances horizontally. What's the meaning of horizontally? Means adding new instances instead of doing upscaling for the instance configuration. Like for example, you have an instance of 2 vCPU and 4 GB of RAM. No need to scale it up to make it like 4 vCPU, 16 GB of RAM. You can clone another instance with the same size and so on horizontally. So that will give you more flexibility and more as well durability, because horizontally you have n number of increase, but vertically you have a limit at the end, because the limit is the resource. So you cannot keep increasing the sizing of the CPU and the RAM at certain point. I know that point is so huge, like we're talking about terabytes of RAM, and we are talking about more than 400 vCPU or 500 vCPU, but at the end there is a limit. So horizontal always giving you more flexibility. An autoscale function is a free service from Alibaba Cloud. It's only you assign the policy, either scheduled or unscheduled, which is based on an event. For example, if the threshold for that instances has been increased, then autoscale function will provision another instances next to the current instance below the same SLB. And after the load is get decreased, then automatically it will release the newly added instances. So that will give you more flexibility for your work, and as well, you will never be charged for more and more than the others. Let me give you a real case scenario from the life. For example, you have an e-commerce application, and that application, at certain time, like in the campaigns, instead of you are running your infrastructure on 20 server, you need 100 server, because the traffic will be and the load is so huge. So if you are in the normal life without a cloud solution, you need to do investment and purchase that another 80 servers. And once that traffic is due, it will kept for like around, I think, 3-4 days during the campaign only. And after that, no need for that 80 servers that you have purchased. So it will be waste of money, right? So instead of doing that, when you do the auto scaling, the newly added provisioned instances next to the 20 instance, these will be running on pay-as-you-go model, the first model which I described in the ACS, which is the charges per second. So then you will be charged for only the time being you have used these resources. So once the campaign is done and the load came back to the normal, then automatically the auto scale function will release all of these instances and back to normal. So that will make you high available always, durable, as well scalable, as well cost effective. So these one of the main benefits using that one. Then Alibaba Cloud as well within the computing, if you are a government, a bank, and you would like to host on public cloud, but you need your dedicated physical server. So Alibaba Cloud is providing bare metal instances, which is the physical server on the back end of the stack of the cloud, will be as a physical reserved under you, is not shared with among other customers online. Then there is a function compute and batch compute. Function compute basically is the new method of splitting your application in different functions and publish these functions in different nodes, small nodes. Whenever the function it gets called, then that node will get up and running. So that will make you agile. And when you need to do some hot fixes or you need to do some development about any function, no need to get the full application down. It's just only you do your changes on that current function node. Then for sure, Alibaba Cloud as well is supporting the container services. And now all the market and the application is being built in container based, or even many people now understand the benefit out of being agile and using that development cycle, and to be using the DevOps, using the continuous integration, CI/CD chain, which is the continuous integration and continuous development together. So that is already supported by Alibaba Cloud, and we do have Kubernetes services as well. And for the people, in case if they need to use the container service on Alibaba Cloud for the Kubernetes, for example, and they need to manage their cluster, means the infrastructure of that container, they can go with something called dedicated cluster. It's an option that we do provide it. But in case of the customer and his development team are just focused on the development and focused on their application layer, they don't want to care about the infrastructure layer, then they can go for the managed container services and the managed cluster. That managed cluster will be the infrastructure is managed. So you take care and focus only on your development and so on. So that will give you more flexibility and more professionalism in your work. Then next, let's go for networking. In networking, the first and most important thing is the VPC, which is the virtual private cloud. What's the meaning of VPC? It's your own network within your cloud, within Alibaba Cloud, and within your account as well in Alibaba Cloud. How we can say or describe the VPC? Your office in Dubai, the network inside the office is the VPC, which is totally isolated from your neighbor office, which is next door to your office in Dubai. That is another VPC. So each VPC is fully isolated from other VPC. And yourself, within your account on Alibaba, you can build multiple VPCs. You are not limited with one VPC. Inside the VPC, you do have vRouter and vSwitches. The vRouter is just to manage the communication between the different subnets which we created through the vSwitches, and the communication from outside the VPC to the VPC and so on. So that IP table will be managed and controlled by the vRouter. Then we go for the vSwitches. vSwitches, you can consider it as creating different subnets inside your VPC. Then you have built your VPC, right? Sorry. Now you need to connect to your infrastructure or to your network on the cloud. So either you connect to it through the public IP, so you can use Alibaba Cloud public IPs, which you assign it to your instances and servers, or you can purchase the Elastic IP, public IP, which you can take it later on and attach it to any server, or detach it from the server and attach it to another. And there is another way, which is if your environment does not have a public IP. So in that case, how you will fix that issue? How you will connect to your infrastructure, or how you will connect your infrastructure to internet? You have two ways. So either you use NAT gateway. NAT gateway will provide your infrastructure, the servers, the instances with the internet, or you use the server load balancer with internet node, which will connect all the servers below that SLB with the internet. So this is how you connect it to the internet. But if you don't want to connect it to the internet and still you need to access your infrastructure, then we do have two methods. Either virtually, which is using the VPN gateway, or by connectivity, activating the connectivity, the physical connectivity, which is using Express Connect. So VPN gateway in Alibaba Cloud, we do support both. We support SSL-based, means a client-based. So from your laptop, you can do the dial-up and connection to your environment and connect it directly to that environment. Or we support as well the IPsec site-to-site, means you can establish the tunnel between your infrastructure on the cloud and your office infrastructure or network that will allow you, whenever you connect it to the network of your office, to reach out Alibaba Cloud environment. The other way which has been used by enterprises is to use a dedicated physical line from the local ISPs in the countries or whenever you are, which is lease line, MPLS, whenever the connectivity fiber optics back to Alibaba Cloud data center. So you can connect your infrastructure, your data center with Alibaba data center using that solution, which called in Alibaba Express Connect. Then we have a solution if you do have a multiple VPCs. As I said, the VPCs are isolated from each other, but if you want to connect them all together and show them, like use them as one full mesh network, even if they were in different region, in different data center of Alibaba worldwide, then you can use a solution called the Cloud Enterprise Network, which is CEN. The CEN will help you as well to make all of these networks showed as one full mesh network, which I will speak about it later on as well in my slides. Then next, when we go for the storage. So in the storage, we do have the object storage services, which is the object oriented. So every file, or let's say not a file, every object or every single file you need to store it on the cloud, it's considered as an object, and that object has a direct path to access this object. And what is the features of the object storage services, which called OSS in Alibaba Cloud? The feature is, first of all, you charged for what you use. So it's not a block storage. No need to purchase a hard disk of 10 terabyte, and your current utilization is 2 terabyte only. So in OSS only, you will be charged for how much you utilize. Then from the pricing perspective, it's cost effective compared to the block storage. Third, it's elastic. What's the mean elastic? And it's auto scaled. That means no need to purchase a limit or a block. It's only like I'm using now 2 terabyte. Tomorrow I will be using 3 terabyte. Then automatically the size of the bucket is increasing infinite. Means there is no limit for that. The limit is the hardware in the backend, but if you are using and host, we do have existing customer which they have a buckets more than 50 petabyte. I'm not talking terabytes, I'm talking petabytes. So that is a huge scale, and don't worry about it. So it's infinite. Then we do have the block storage in different methods. So we have a normal SSD if you need an IOPS, high IOPS, and we do have the normal Ultra disk, which has a higher RMB compared with the SATA disks. And we do have a performance disks, SSD disks. So we have, if you are looking for like 1 million IOPS per second. So in that case, yeah, we do have an SSD storage called BL3. So that will help you as well to achieve your requirement. As well in the storage, if you need a network shared storage among of your servers on Alibaba Cloud, we do support as well. We have a product called NAS. So NAS, you can use it. It's a NAS storage, so you can use it as a shared storage as well. As well, the last one which I need to talk about it is the HBR, and after this slide, I'll talk about it in deeply. It's the first cloud native backup solution. It's a file level backup solution, and you can use it as a backup. You can use it as well as a DR, and you can use it as a migration tool. So I will describe it more when I get into it. Then next, talking about moving to the data intelligence side. So on data intelligence side, every business needs a database. And in the database, we do support if you need a caching database, so from TableStore or from Redis or for MongoDB. And as well, if you're looking for a managed database, as we said before in managed Kubernetes and container services, so you need a database which you only focus on your database, on the application layer. Then we do have RDS, the relational database, supporting MySQL engine, Microsoft SQL Server engine, Postgres SQL engine, BBS engine, as well MariaDB, and so on. And for NoSQL data, we have, as well, as I said, table store. So you can use table store. And for sure, when you have such a database intelligent solutions, you need a tool which help you for the data transmission, data migration, and data replication. So we do have a tool called DTS in Alibaba Cloud, which help you to achieve all of these details. It's over here. Then next, you do have a lot of raw data. You do have a lot of data. The data, there is no benefit out of it if it's just only a data. Unless you start creating your warehouses and running some algorithms and running some computing to get some figures using the BI's figures and so on, then you need the big data. So Alibaba as well, Alibaba Cloud has a lot of big data, different products, starting from data V to data integration, to quick BI, to EMAP reduce, to data analytics, max compute. Max compute, it's like the BigQuery from GCP, DataFin, DataWorks to build where you build your warehouse, data warehouse, and real-time compute you will do have for getting a real-time performance and real-time thresholds out of your data. Then next, we do have some solutions which we called it ET Brain. It's the artificial planes. These artificial brains, we do have City Brain. City Brain is a huge solution which we apply it in the cities, which control the traffic lights, control the accidents, control the ways of the police, the ways of the ambulance, and so on. That is so advanced solution, and we have already success stories on that solution. In the same that of the City Brain solution, we do have industry and medical, and even we do have more and more different solutions, aviation brain, so financial brain, a lot of different brains that we do have it, so that if anyone is interested, we can take it over later on, in case if anyone interested in these brain cities. Then as well, Alibaba Cloud supporting AI, the artificial intelligence platforms. So intelligent service robot and a machine learning platform for AI. You can find the machine learning and write it on Alibaba Cloud. As well, we do support the IoT and the edge. So if IoT platform is supported and the command center as well is supported. The private cloud sector, this I will talk about it in deeply, not now, in my next slide, because it's very important information that I would like to highlight it about the private cloud as a solution. Okay, and sorry for that, just. Okay, so now let's talk about the last layer, which is the application engine layer, which is over here in the top right, in the top left, which starting from a media application services that Alibaba Cloud is providing. So for the media application services, we provide, if you are building a live video platform, then we have a solution called Apsara Video Live Streaming. If you are looking to build a solution such as Netflix, such as Shahid, and so on in the market, which called video on demand, so we do have a solution for building and supporting your infrastructure from the back end, which is the VOD, Alibaba Cloud, Apsara Video VOD. Then for sure, if you have a live streaming or VOD, video on demand, you need some media processing. So we do have as well a product to help you in doing the media processing. And if you have all of these, for sure, you are covering not only one region, you are covering multiple regions and even maybe worldwide. So in that case, you need to distribute your network and do the caching. So the content delivery network, the CDN network that we do have a solution, which we have our nodes everywhere across the global. So you can use it to split and accelerate your videos and your solutions to the other markets and other regions. Then In middleware as well as the solutions, we have different solutions to manage your messages, the message queue as a platform, the application configuration management, and so on. And when we talk about the management, this is one of the most important features of Alibaba Cloud. So in management, for sure, you have created your account on Alibaba Cloud, and you have created the resources, and you need to monitor the threshold of that resources, and you need to monitor as well the performance of these resources. So you can use Cloud Monitor. It's a free service from Alibaba Cloud, which allow you to have these information and numbers and performance details. Then later on, you would like to, you have different employees with different responsibilities. So you can use the resource access management to create different access users to access the cloud console with you can assign specific privileges to them. Then later on, if you need to monitor these resource access management actions on top of the cloud console, I'm not talking about server level, I'm talking about the cloud console because it's not easy to control it. Then you have action trail to monitor each user what he did every day on the console. As well, if you want to encrypt your data, so either using KMS services of Alibaba Cloud using the internal algorithm of encryption, you can encrypt your data, or you can import your keys from outside and use it to encrypt your data. As well, for resource orchestration, Cloud Shell to control your environment and your resources, and Alibaba Cloud Management Console is allowing you for Open API Explorer, which is working with the API gateway. So if you press on open.alibabacloud.com, then you will find the full platform, how to manage Alibaba platform fully using either SDKs or using the RESTful APIs. So all the APIs are opened and you can use them to control Alibaba Alibaba products and services. And for communication, we have voice services, traffic services, SMS services. Yes, as well, we provide SMS services. So if you are you want to have SMS services with the competitive prices, even to your your local providers, local ISPs, because our SMS services is globally. So we do have a very competitive prices. So SMS is over there, and it can be your choice for that. Then later for the enterprise services. So for the enterprise services, we have domains. So you can buy your domain, anydomain.com, .net, whenever your domain you're looking for, you can find it out on Alibaba Cloud and you purchase it. And when you purchase the domain from Alibaba Cloud, you have the benefit of using for free Alibaba DNS solution. So Alibaba DNS solution and services is very advanced DNS solution, which will make your life easier. Even when you do DNS propagation for a website or an application, it will be reflected in a seconds, which will make all the changes easy to do it and so on. Then if you're looking for a mail solution, enterprise mail solution, so Alibaba Cloud has a Alibaba Mail with different offers that we do have and packages. So you can have a look about it as well, which we can discuss it later on. And Alibaba Cloud as well, it has under the enterprise a web hosting solution and API gateway, as I told you, to control all or integrate your current Alibaba infrastructure with the third-party solutions. So it's open API platform. Last thing we'll talk about it for today, not for today, for the full session, I mean for this slide, it will be the security. So for the security, Alibaba Cloud has a very unique security offering, starting covering the infrastructure, the host level, going to network level, going to application level, and going to the data security itself. So all of these different layers of security are being secured with Alibaba Cloud. So let's start with the first one, which is the security management, which called managed security services. So Alibaba Cloud, it's providing you as a package, it's called a security management, which is a managed security services for your infrastructure. So that as an optional, that you can extend your level of security of using this optional solution from Alibaba Cloud. Now, when we talk about the products, which you control it by yourself and your team and so on. So let's start from application layer. So application security, you can use Alibaba Cloud with web application firewall, which called WAF. And you can use as well the content moderation and the website threat inspector. So all of these products, you can use it from Alibaba Cloud to help you to optimize and secure your environment. Then let's focus as well on the WAF. The WAF of Alibaba is actually many unique features from like having all the log services as well, the anti-bot services. You can as well integrate it inside the same solution, so that will help you a lot. In addition to that, there is one feature which is a unique feature of Alibaba WAF called GSLB, which is the global load balancer for your WAF. So when you purchase the WAF, for example, you purchase a WAF cluster in Dubai data center. So when you purchase it in Dubai data center, and you do have your customers worldwide, so your customers will face always a latency issue when they connect your application, because the WAF cluster basically is in Dubai. If they are in Europe or they are in Singapore, and they are in Asia or whenever they are. But if you activated the GSLB is automatically a global load balancer. It will find out the traffic is coming from Europe, so it will redirect and link that traffic to the nearest European data center of Alibaba, which is Germany. So there is a load balancer public IP there will be taking that traffic and then accelerated using Alibaba backbone networks internally to Dubai data center. So in that case, you will reduce the latency and you do nothing. No need to establish different different lease lines from different countries to your data center. No need to use SD-WAN technology. No need to use any other technologies in the world in order to reduce, which is so expensive when we talk about to reduce this latency on doing a huge work on the network side. So GSLB will help you a lot in order to resolve such an issues. Then later on, we have secured now the application level, right? So what about the network level? Network level is very important. So, you know, denial of service attacks is very famous nowadays. So yes, Alibaba has anti-DDoS solution, which is anti for this denial of service attacks. As well, we do have a game shield and cloud firewall. Cloud firewall, if you want to manage the whole network of your environment on Alibaba Cloud as you have your own firewall on-premise. It will look the same and you have the same features and you have the full management of your network. Then we have secured network, we have secured application layer. Still, we need to secure the host layer, right? The server itself. So in server, we do have providing something called server guard, and server guard is by default came with every server and it's already for free as a service. And this is to secure your host level and host layer. We host application, network, and server, still remaining one thing more, which is the data when it's communicated in through the tunnels. We need to secure these tunnels, and as well, we need to encrypt this data. So we can use Alibaba KMS, key management services, to encrypt the data, and we can use the SSL certificates from Alibaba, or you can import it from outside, but Alibaba as well is providing SSL, so you can purchase the SSL certificate from Alibaba directly to secure the communication over the tunnels itself. So that will help you a lot. And Alibaba is providing all of the different validation level of SSL. So you have the domain validation, the organization validation, and the extended validation. All of the different types are supported by Alibaba Cloud. So that was, I'm sorry for being too long on describing that, but this is the most important to know about the cloud services from Alibaba's side. Now, I will go fast about the different products, which I told you in the previously in the beginning, the HBR, the hybrid backup solution. Hybrid backup solution, it's a cloud native application. What's mean of cloud native application? This is an important thing. Cloud native application solution, that means there is no infrastructure to maintain. The infrastructure of this product is already considered as a platform as a service, means it's already pre-integrated from the provider with his stack, means it's already pre-integrated. So that will show you how powerful that platform will be, because it's a high available and high applicable and high scalable. So no need to worry about the infrastructure at all. So this is one of the main features, and easily to integrate with other products on the cloud seamlessly, because that will help you a lot as well, because it's already within the stack itself. So if we don't have HBR, in case if we have ECS on Alibaba Cloud for backup solution, we have two ways. Either you have the built-in snapshots, and the snapshots is a VM level, means an OS level. So you cannot restore any file or folder at a certain, like at any time that you want. So if you, it's like you're rolling back your infrastructure, the full infrastructure of image, to a certain time. So you cannot rely on it as a file level backup. Then the second way is to bring a third-party solution software, like such as Veeam or Commvault or wherever from the market, and install it into another ECS and start managing the license, start managing the backup server itself, and managing the backend vault, the backup vault itself, which is attached, which has a lot of risky issues and thresholds that it can be full at any time, and still you need to extend it and so on. So this is one of, like, if we don't have a cloud native solution to do. And even if you have an object storage buckets or you have a network storage, shared storage across your environment, you never have any solution to do backup for these object storages or NAS. Because if you need to do a backup for these, you need to do scripting by yourself to do that. And if you do a scripting, then there is a lot of duplication will be, and that is not easy. So that and headache over the network and headache over your sizing of your on-premise or sizing and cost of your storage itself. Then when we talk about on-premise virtual machine, so if you have a virtual machine on-premise and you need to back that virtual machine to Alibaba Cloud, then again, or to anywhere else, or if you want to inside your cloud, inside your on-premise or another cloud provider, you have a virtual machine, you need still to have a third-party solution, again, with block storage and so on. So it's a headache, a lot of maintenance, a lot of requirement, a lot of paid license will be there. So here, when we brought the HBR, so the HBR is a cloud native solution. It's considered backup as a service. There is no backup server to maintain, so it's easy for everyone to use the backup as a service. No need to be a high-techy guy in order to maintain your backup servers. Then it has built-in compression and deduplication. This is as a main features, or it's a built-in feature, so no need to purchase it or add it to the service. So the compression and deduplication for your data will help you to optimize your storage size, as well to lowering the traffic, the internet traffic. As well, when you talk about HBR, it's a single product handle multiple scenarios. I showed you. So even for your on-premise, for your servers, for application layer, for different solutions from Alibaba or from other cloud providers, that is one bit stop. So no need to pay your money and get it for different stops and so on. And as well, from the main features that you do have, it support cross-region backup. So if you want to enable the backups, you are in Germany, you're hosting in Germany, and you need to do the backups in UK, then it's so easy using the HBR itself. So let's talk about the HBR. So I will talk about the limitations or about when you use it. If your cloud service backup supports cross-region and it's within Alibaba Cloud solution, like your environment is fully on Alibaba Cloud solution, then you have file folder level on ECS, you can have this backup. As well, if you do have a SQL Server application layer hosted on ECS, you can use the HBR to do application layer backup. As well, if you do have a SAP HANA or any SAP program, which is hosted on Alibaba ECS certified SAP instance, then that will help you as well to do this backup. If you do have a NAS storage, you do have an object storage and cloud storage gateway on Alibaba as a product, you can do a backup for them. For other cloud providers, you can do only file folder level backup from their virtual machines, and as well for their SQL servers and so on. Actually, I would like to move to this page. So this page will make it more interactive for you guys to understand the HBR architecture itself. So here is on-premise data center, which is not Alibaba data center, and here is Alibaba Cloud. Okay, so you can consider on-premise data center if you do have a file level, folder level servers or virtual machine. You can use the HBR to back them automatically to your backup vault on Alibaba Cloud. As well, if you do have a VMware environment, and you know VMware does not provide for their customers a backup solution. So always when you have a VMware environment, you need to rely on a third-party solution such as Veeam, Commvault, and so on again to do your backups. So you can rely on HBR because it's certified and already integrated with VMware easily. So you can push the agents to your VMware environment and start getting the backups to your backup vault on Alibaba Cloud using the HBR. Again, if you do have a SQL server as well, application layer on-premise, you can use the HBR to do the backup for your SQL server. In case of your environment, it was fully on Alibaba Cloud, then you have more features. It's not about the ECS file level. You can as well SAP HANA application level, get your all details on your backups, incremental log services, and all of that can be backed up using the HBR. Then as storage, object storage, and the SQL server as well. So as you see here for the SAP HANA, just to mention for you guys, the HBR is the first SAP certified public cloud backup as a service solution at the moment in the market. And it supports as well, as I said, log, incremental, and full backups. So that will help you a lot for backing your SAP environment. Now we have done talking about the HBR. Next of the the products I have chosen for today is to talk about is the relational database, the RDS. The RDS is a managed relational database service that is simply to deploy and easy to scale and reliable and cost effective. So with the features of that one, you can choose one of the database engines that you would like to have, even you don't care about the license. So that the license will be pre-integrated with the price when you choose which engine you want. So either you can go for MySQL, MariaDB, Postgres, or SQL Server from Microsoft. And the second feature is that's a high availability. And third is high performance you get from these instances because it's already managed from infrastructure. So it's managed services and easy to scale and operate, run as many or few systems as you desire. So these are the main features of the RDS, and it will give you more focus on your data enhancement and your tables, your schemas, and so on, because the infrastructure of the database engine, no need to think about it. It's already managed by the team. Now let's talk about the different concepts. When we talk about the normal lifestyle without cloud, you need to build the network, the physical network. You need to bring the physical storage, the physical servers, connect them together, then install the virtualization, create the hypervisor, then create a virtual machine by yourself and manage all of this infrastructure, then install the operating system, then you need to establish the middleware, the runtime of the application data, then last you will get to your application layer. So imagine yourself of the headache of doing the whole installation and whole deployments and managing these layers. When we talk about Alibaba ECS, which is infrastructure as a service, means Alibaba taking care for the hardware level and virtualization level up to the hypervisor. Mean you just maintain and take care from operating system batching, not license. Operating system license is already pre-integrated when you purchase the ECS. So already everything is there, but when you need to start doing the configuration, your own customized configuration, so from operating system customization up to the application layer you maintain. So that will save a lot of time. When we talk about RDS, Alibaba Cloud backend will be controlling and managing for you on behalf of you from the network, physical network up to the runtime level. So your focus will be only on your application and data level. So you need to maintain your data and your application by yourself. That's it. So that will give you more flexibility and so on. Now about the VPC connectivity, as I told you before, we need to connect your VPC if it was in a private network, is not connected to internet. So we can use SLB, Elastic Public IP and NAT Gateway to connect it to the internet. And if we need to connect intranet, means local, like your office, your enterprise, your local data center to Alibaba data center, you have Express Connect using the using Express Connect, using the MPLS direct connectivity, wired connectivity between your offices and Alibaba Cloud data center. You can use the VPN either on SSL or which is client-based, or site-to-site IPsec. You can use CEN for different VPCs of Alibaba Cloud to make them looks like one full mesh. So I'll just skip this one to show you here the VPC. So if you have a VPC in Dubai, VPC in Frankfurt, VPC in Singapore, and VPC in India, so you need to connect them all together for the communication. You can use the CEN. So the CEN will work as a global network interconnection of all their attached VPCs and virtual borders. So that will make them looks like communicating to each other as one full mesh. You will tell me you can use Express Connect to do the same, but Express Connect, if you need to do the same, it's one point to another point, so A to B only. So if I need to let this, if I need to let this one communicating with this one, then in that case, how we can do that? You need to establish one connectivity from this point to this point. But in case this one, I needed to speak with this one, then I need to, again, establish another connectivity. So imagine how many connectivities you need to establish. So Express Connect is using point-to-point interconnection, requires manual configuration of the routing management. But when you use the CEN, it's access to full mesh interconnected global network. It dynamically learn interconnected network routing. So if I'm communicating with this one from this one, then automatically the CEN node will redirect the communication here. So no need to manually, if adding some scripting or statements that if the communication came from here, pass it then to here or pass it to here. So it's automatically learning that interconnected network routing. So we have finished now like our first session, which is talking about Alibaba Cloud solution for offices, enterprises, for mid-size, small, big, any requirement that it needed by any office or company in the market. Now let's talk about the government and what they are looking for from their side. One of the main products of Alibaba Cloud, which is now at the market, it has more than 10 years in the market, and as well it has a lot of different success stories, and it's in highly demand from the governments and from the larger scale enterprises. It's called Apsara Stack. What is the Apsara Stack? So Apsara Stack, first of all, let me start talking about it from the first feature that they do have it, and it's supported by the Apsara Stack. One single cluster or one node means one physical data center with one stack. It can contain and support up to 10,000 physical server. That is none of any stack at the market at the moment can even cover more than a 500 physical server. Some of them from the easy competitors, they just, from the nearest competitors, sorry, they can support up to 16 physical server only. I'm talking about, for example, Azure Stack. It's only between 4 and 16 physical server. So if you need to build that hyperscale of your cloud privately, then you need to go ahead and choose Apsara Stack. Why? Let's take it together. First of all, as we said, 10 physical server together. Then it's third-party hardware infra vendor agnostic. What's the meaning of that? We don't limit you for a brand. We don't say to you, we just, when you purchase our software working only with, for example, some specific hardware from Dell or some specific hardware from HPE. No, we just provide you our software, and as well, we can resell you the hardware in case if you want, but we don't force that. If you want to purchase your hardware by yourself, we give you the configuration sheet whenever is the vendor provider of that hardware, either Inspur, HPE, Dell, Huawei, whenever is the partner or the vendor of that hardware, you can go ahead and purchase it. Just you need to stick with the specification that we're looking for, and which is open and available on all of the vendors worldwide. Then Apsara Stack is a cloud-native, full distributed kernel that will allow you for zero downtime rolling upgrades. That means the Apsara Stack, the stack itself, it's developed in-house in Alibaba Cloud. We don't have any dependency on other virtualization. For example, you do have in the market, let's say about Huawei or any other stack at the market at the moment. They are using the environment based, for example, an OpenStack. I'm giving an examples, guys. So when you are using OpenStack, then you have a limitation when you are doing any upgrades or releasing a new version of your stack, because there is a dependency on other platforms. But when you build the platform from scratch by your team, then you don't have any dependency because you have the full A to Z development in-house. Then last, one of the most important things as well, plug and play cloud service function enhancement on the go. What's the meaning of that? We are not like an OpenStack. OpenStack, you have the stack, then you need to hire a development team to build your products and service on top of that stack, which will take years, maybe like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know, whenever is the capacity and the capability of the hired engineers. As well, it will not be tested. As well, that need an investment, a long term. But when you take the Apsara stack, you choose from Alibaba the products and services. So you do have around 70 plus products and services ready at the market, which none of any other cloud providers at the moment has that number available. So if you compare it with the others has max 16, 17 products available. I'm giving you an access of 70 plus products on the market. So once you choose which products you would like to go with, once we finish the deployments of the Apsara stack, you are ready to play. All the cloud service and functions are ready to go. As well, Apsara stack, when we talk about the enterprise edition, it supports multi-tenant. What the mean of multi-tenant means you can be a reseller. So you can do it as an investment. This is for the MSPs. For the ISPs in the markets, they are agile and they want to have their own cloud services. So instead of start develop it from the scratch, they can take it from Alibaba Cloud through the Apsara stack and then start reselling it. So the Apsara stack portal can be whitelisted under the ISP, and as well they can start reselling these products. So Apsara stack is providing that as an option as well. You can have it because it supports a multi-tenant. As well, Apsara stack, it's easy. It's fully standalone. So there is no connectivity to public cloud. There is no connectivity to Alibaba. Once it's installed and deployed, then it's totally yours. So that is very important for governmental or enterprises. When we talk about as well, if you need to extend your private cloud deployments to the public cloud to have more flexibility of the resources of public cloud, then it's easy as well to make and build the hybrid model. As well, from the main features of Apsara stack, that it supports multiple regions. So your private cloud, actually, it can be like working as a public cloud. So for example, if you are a company which they have an offices or different offices in the whole of GCC, like in Saudi Arabia, in UAE, in Qatar, in Kuwait, in Bahrain, in all of those places. And you do have a data centers in all of these places. So you can deploy Apsara stack in every one of these centers and connect them with one console. So that will help you to do like full scale cloud on different multiple regions, and as well you can build it in multiple zones. And as a proven of stability of Apsara stack, you have the Chinese Cyber Monday, or you have the 11/11 of Alibaba Cloud. That imagine that whole workload in which we have it in Alibaba, it's all built on top of Apsara stack. So imagine that is a proven of stability of Alibaba Cloud. So let me talk about the different offering that Alibaba Cloud is providing when we talk about the Apsara stack itself. So we have Z Stack, Agility Stack, Enterprise Edition. Z Stack is only infrastructure as a service. It supports cloud backup and supports the DR. When we talk, if you are looking for a virtualization solution, which, like, for example, I'll say it here, if you're looking for a solution compared to VMware, then Z Stack is your go-to-head for it. So when we talk about the Z Stack, this we can take it later. We need a bigger session to speak more in technical. But one of the features, key points, is 90% of the functions that VMware is providing, you can cover it with Z Stack. As well, Z Stack, it's 50% cost less than the VMware from license perspective. It's easy to deploy and maintain, and it has the GUI, read the GUI to maintain your infrastructure, and it giving this, all of that will give you a higher return of investment than any other software or a solution, virtualization solution in the market. And as well, as you see here in my slide, it's showing, I'm sorry for that, 3 server is the minimum scale, 100 servers is the maximum scale, but now this scale has been increased and it has been used, upgraded to 10,000 physical server again, like the enterprise. So it's starting from 3, it's a small scale, but it can scale with you up to 10,000 physical server again. Similar to the agility, is starting from 10 and going to 10,000. What the difference between Z Stack, Agility, Enterprise? Agility is baby enterprise, is shared with the enterprise, the basic, and it used the infrastructure framework from enterprise, but Z Stack has different infrastructure and framework. So Z Stack later on cannot be upgraded to enterprise, but Agility at any time can be upgraded to enterprise. Agility, when we go for agility, if we do have a limited budget and we're looking for not only infrastructure as a service, we're looking for database solutions, big data solution, platform as a service, and so on, that in that case, we can, like, for your own use, because it's not supporting multi-tenant. If you're looking to be a reseller, reselling your resources, you cannot go for the agility. So always enterprise is your option will be. So then Enterprise Edition is there. As I told you, this is a full stack cloud, which is supporting the DR. And as well, I will show you all of the details about this. This is a fast comparison between the Z Stack, the Agility Edition, and Enterprise, as I have described before, which is if you're looking for a platform as a service capability, not only infrastructure as a service, and you do have a limited budget, then you can go with the Agility Edition. If you're looking for disaster recovery capabilities for infrastructure as a service only, then you can go with Z Stack. But if you want it as a full stack, then you can go for the enterprise. Who's the target customer for Z Stack and Agility and Enterprise? Z Stack is the small mid business, limited budget, and as well, if there is a huge enterprises which they want to do safe costing on a VMware solution for virtualization for their internal use. One of the features, the main features of the Z Stack, that you can use your old devices, your old servers, your old network. So whenever is the specification that you have, Z Stack is working with that specification. But in case of enterprise and agility, that actually we do have a requirement. If your existing servers meet that requirement, you can reuse it. But if not, still you need to purchase the new servers based on that requirement. So this is very different between them. Then the target customer for the agility is the mid-size enterprise, heterogeneous IT infrastructure for their own use. When we talk about the enterprise edition, we talk about the large enterprise, the couriers like ISPs, the government with Go Cloud strategy. These are the different features of when you use the Apsara stack. It's elastic, it's open, it's stable, it's trusted. When we talk about it's elastic, as I said, in one single region, you can deploy and support within one stack a 10,000 physical server, and it supports multi-region deployment and multi-zone within the same region deployments. As well, it gives you the feature and access for over 70 plus of products. Then it's open, the standard interfaces with a high compatibility. It has open API interfaces as well if you want to integrate to your third-party applications or solutions with Alibaba. Using either SDKs or RESTful APIs, it's easy to do that. Controllable open source engines, easy deployments on hardware from different manufacturers. So as I said, we are not we are not limiting you for a specific vendor to purchase your hardware from. It's a stable, so the stable framework inherited from the public cloud, because public cloud, when we talk about Apsara stack, is like baby public cloud. So you have that trusted framework from the public cloud because they share together that frameworks. The DR plans as well, so you can have 3 data centers, for example, across 2 different zones and active geo redundancy. And as well, it supports the hot upgrades. As I said, it's fully developed in-house in Alibaba Cloud. And it's trusted, so it has a lot of different cloud certifications. It has as well a lot of protection of security, level of security. And as well, we do have a lot of different success stories, even with the market over here. So let me jump to this page. So this page, it shows you the products, the main products that you can have it on your Apsara stack, in your private stack, private cloud in-house. So from infrastructure as a service, you can have the CPU in both CPU and GPU instances. You can have the autoscale function. You can have the resource orchestration services. You can have the container services. You can have the object storage services. You can have as well the storage NAS. You can have the distributed file system. You can have the VPC, the load balancer, server load balancer, and as well the DNS solution. These products, you can have it on Apsara stack using from infrastructure level. Data level, you can have the RDS, the relational database, the managed database for both MySQL, Postgres, SQL Server, MariaDB, and so on. You can have the in-memory database caching service, KV Store. You can have NoSQL database services from MongoDB, HBase, Table Store. You can have as well the tool that I told you about for managing the replication, the migration, the transmission of the data, which called DTS, data transmission services. For Paas middleware DevOps, you do have a lot of different products and solutions that you can have it onboarded within your private stack. As well for big data, that is very important thing to know, that all of these products and services here, you can have it with one stack and one console. No need to get them from different consoles and different stacks as the other competitors. So one console, one stack to manage all of these products and use it. So you can have big data and AI solutions and products from DataWorks, from Max Compute, Analytic DB. If you do have a lot of OLAP data, that will help you a lot. For Data Hub, for log services, Elasticsearch, Quick PI, all of these, you can have it in your Apsara stack offering. As well for security perspective. If you need anti-DDoS to secure your network, it's a product available to have it on Apsara stack, and you can resell it for your customers. For web application firewall, the WAF, for server guard for the host level, for security center for vulnerabilities, to give you the vulnerabilities on your infrastructure, for DB audit, for data masking, for as well the KMS, the key management services, for the data encryption. So all of these are available products. You can have it on top of public for the Apsara stack, your private stack. As well on management and monitoring, you have the console, cloud operation and management. You have OpenAPI, you have the resource access management to create different RAM user access, you have the cloud monitor to monitor the performance, and so on. So so from this slide, we show the capability of Apsara Stack and how, imagine, by using and choosing these products and service, you build your own cloud privately, which is totally isolated from public, and that will give you all the features, either for government, for couriers, for enterprises, for their internal use, and even for making it as a business and start reselling these resources as a cloud distributor or as a cloud vendor. Let's say once you have it, you will be a cloud vendor because you will be owning that stack itself. And it supports as well, we provide it in licensing model, and as well we provide it in subscription model in case if you don't want to do an investment since day one. But that is for the software, please. It's not for the hardware, because Alibaba is a software company, it's not a hardware company. Now, our third topic for today will be Alibaba Cloud Solution for Retail. So Alibaba Cloud Solution for Retail, we do have a lot of different new retail solutions for the market, which can make the market more agile and connect the online market and the offline market. Alibaba sees that online and offline market are one market. We don't see that the future is only online and we don't see the offline. No, we just trust and know and believe that both markets are important to complete each other. So we have invented this solution to extend that communication and interaction between the online and the offline together. So it's called Alibaba Cloud New Retail. Sorry, just allow me for 5 seconds. Hi everyone, I'm back. So this is the typical solution catalog that Alibaba Cloud have and providing. So I'm not talking about the general solutions today or the fintech solutions or any traditional enterprise solutions. I will be focusing on the retail solution as you see here. In the retail solution, there is main features and main information that I would like to speak about it. Starting about the image search feature, which I will explain it later on in my slides. Online recommendation, new retail as a complete solution, customer profiling, and retail data visualization. In this slide, I'll spend most of my time here so I can explain further. So our new retail solution, we split it into 3 phases. So you do have the infrastructure phase, we do have the middle end platform, and the retail solution. The retail solution, which is developed by Alibaba infrastructure, it can be infrastructure as a service, as you see here in the blue. This means that you build it on top of Alibaba public cloud, or if you want to have some physical in the store installation for example, for the heat map and so on, then you need to install some cloud access points, e-tags, cameras, physical cameras, sensors, and cloud BOS systems inside your store. Then we do have the middle end platform that is split it into 2 different things, pillars, which we have the business middle end platform and the data middle end platforms. For the business, starting from merchandise to membership to order to marketing to search to store payments, transaction, the content, all of this considered as the business middle end platform. And you can control and manage all of these from business perspective. And from data perspective, when we say what is the data, type of data and collective data that you do have within the system, to control all of these different data from transactions, membership, e-commerce, merchandise, again, social, smart devices, location-based in-store behavior, that is within the middle end platforms of the data. And that is the engines, let's see, the databases, we can consider it as of the application layer, which is the retail solution. Starting from retail solution, it has a lot of different services, products, and as well features, starting from building your e-commerce platform. Alibaba Cloud in the new retail, they provide you the e-commerce platform in different way. So you do have different options from if you do want an e-commerce platform for B2C, business to customer directly. We do support, as I said, from infrastructure, middle end platform, and up to the application layer. All of these can be even the front end design for the website design, the backend design. All of that is as one solution from Alibaba Cloud. Then if you are looking for B2B to C, business to customer, then we do have as well another platform which help you to optimize and do all of your selling and all of your business using our platform. As well, if your business model is B2B, we can cover as well business to business models with our platform. And you can cover all of these, you can buy them all as one package as an e-commerce. So if you are a huge enterprise and you have some direct selling to your customer, you have some business customers, and you do have some another enterprise customers. So you can monitor and manage all of these environments together using Alibaba e-commerce platform. The last one, which is O2O. O2O means offline to online or online to offline. That is one of the key features which I will show you in next video when I'm talking about in how you activate and make the communication between the online and the offline shops together and make them integrated and interactive more and more. And this solution is as well provided by Alibaba under the e-commerce platform solution from the new retail. Then the other features which you can have it from the new retail solutions from Alibaba, starting with the customer traffic analysis. So the customer traffic analysis, it need, when we talk about the physical shops, I'm not talking about the e-commerce platform. For the e-commerce platform, it's easy to track the customer analysis, traffic analysis, which is the pages was most viewed and so on. So these information, you can get it. And later on, we'll show it in data visualization. So you can see all of these data in data visualization. But in case if you have a shop, means a physical shop in a mall or whenever you have it. So you will be installing some camera sensors and e-tags and cloud access points. So it will show you the heat map of the customer. They have been during the day stopping next to this shelf more than this shelf, for example, and so on. So that is a very important solution. Next is image search. Image search, you know that when we go for any application or website for e-commerce, when we need to search for an item, we, like for example, I'm looking for a watch with specific brand. So I write the specific brand name and the watch, right? Then I search and keep looking for my the watch that I'm looking for, because maybe that brand has different models and I don't remember that exact model. And instead of wasting that time of the old search solution, Alibaba has introduced image search solution. If I have the watch picture or I see another watch, I like it on my friend's hand, so I can take a picture about it, and the artificial intelligence of Alibaba will just do the whole calculations and do the whole comparison with the stock into the e-commerce platform and show the whole related to that image picture, so you can easily find the product that you're looking for. Then later on, service chatbot as well is a solution which is provided by Alibaba Cloud, which help the customers to make, help the vendor or the seller to reduce the number of headache on the call centers. So everything can be taken care by the chatbots only in the final decision. So it will be transferred to the agent, the line agent. So the line agent knows what exactly the customer need. Then multi-languageal real-time translation. So Alibaba Cloud solution as well is support the real-time translation. So if customer looking for real-time translation solution, that is an option of Alibaba Cloud. For example, between Chinese and English, between English and Chinese, and so on. Then online recommendation. Online recommendation is one of the main features, and I believe for the e-commerce and at the moment for all of the existing business in the market. If I'm going to browse something and usually I'm browsing, for example, searching for a bag, a specific bag, then that system algorithm will recognize that I'm looking for such a bag. So it will keep showing some recommended products to me which I'm looking for in the same category. So that will make your selling performance better and better, and showing your customers better what they are thinking about and what they're looking for and usually search for always will be recommended for them. Customer profiling, we have two different profiling. So we have the profiling which is based on your behavior, and we have the profiling based on the data entry. So when you create your account, you have saying you are a male or a female, you about the religion, about the age, about your birthday, about your name, about your nationality, and so on. So these are profiling for your information which you, when you create the account, you have entered. And as well, there is a behavior, means your behavior in the store, in the e-commerce store. You like, for example, for a lady, her behavior was always looking for the makeup stuff and as well for the family stuff. So that when we link it for the online recommendation and for the marketing, precision marketing, that will make easy for the online recommendation precision marketing to show this customer based on her profile always the products, the newest offers of the makeup products, for example, and the rest. So when you do precision marketing and you need to do a campaigns, that will make your life easier based on numbers, not based on experience. So that will be more accurate, and that will reduce the number of investment on the marketing without any success back. So you will be very sure when you do this investment, or you do like a budget, you make the budget for the marketing, you know that budget, there is a return of investment out of it because it's based on real numbers and real behaviors of these customers. Then operation optimization. So when we said about the whole back information and technologies that will help you for sure to optimize your operation, to make your life easier for the stocks that you do have it in your warehouses, and as well for making a business decisions and so on. So that will help you a lot in order to get these information from the console itself. So there is an operation optimization console which show you all of these information and even giving you some suggestions along with the data visualization. So this one is alive, so you can see all the customer traffic analysis, all the customer the highest product for sale today and so on. So you have a lot of different numbers which is customized and you do the customization for. One of the success stories that Alibaba has on the new retail, for example, in China, it's Hema Store. Hema Store is Alibaba supermarket, which I will show you later on the video about it, how we success manage it. So starting from order to prepare, so the customer places an order through the e-commerce platform on his mobile, on her mobile. It does not necessary to be in the market. And as well, you can go to the market and do your shopping with, we say it with bag free, means trolley free trolley, that you don't need to push a trolley and choose your stuff. You just take an image for all the QR codes for the products and add it, then check out from your mobile. No need to wait on no need to wait on the kiosks or on the cashiers for the payment. No need to have a trolley or your products and start moving it. So everything will be paid. You paid it by the application, and as well it will be delivered to your home. So first of all, the customer places an order through the e-commerce. Order is split and dispatched by system automatically. Hema staff picks out the products and drop it off in the bags on the courier. belt that runs up wall of the store to the ceiling. Then it will go for the HEMA staff considered products from handbags and bags to the back end. Then the delivery will ship it to your home. And as well, if you would like to have your fresh products to get it with you and take it with you, that is easy as well. So as well, you can have a trolley and purchase it. So this will enhance the integration between the online and offline together in one step. So next will be the video. I will leave you with that video for 3 minutes to watch it and see how HEMA Store is working.
It's not every day that you see Jack Ma at the grocery store. That's because this isn't just any grocery store. This is Hema Supermarket, and it's Alibaba's entry into what the company calls new retail.
I'm at a Hema Supermarket in Shanghai. This was the first of what are now 13 locations in China, and it's been open for 18 months. For Alibaba, this is the best example yet of the merger of online and offline shopping. Hema uses technology and data to provide a seamless and more efficient shopping experience for consumers. For starters, everything at Hema is powered by mobile. You download the app, and then you use your phone to shop.
For example, Hema is all about fresh foods from all over the world. But how would you know?
Everything in the store has a barcode. You use the app to scan the code, and you get a ton of great information about the product. Hema will even make recommendations of similar products based on what you have in your hands. These are exactly the Washington cherries that I was looking for. This is perfect.
One of the biggest attractions in Hema is its seafood section. That's because in China, there's a long tradition of handpicking the freshest seafood for consumption. And at Hema, that means you don't even have to wait until you get home to eat. You can have it cooked for you right here in the store, just like Jack Ma did.
This is our first time coming here after work. The place is quite big, clean, and bright. And we pick the food together, and then we eat it together. The food here, the seafood, the mushrooms, they are fresh and they're delicious, and we enjoy the time. Yeah.
Now, for all the convenience of shopping in person at a Hema supermarket, some of the best innovations were delivered online. See, these stores also serve as fulfillment centers. Customers place orders through the app, and then workers run around the store collecting items for delivery. Each store serves a radius of about 3 kilometers, about 1.5 miles, and they can serve thousands of orders a day, each within 30 minutes.
Here's how it works. Each employee has a scanner and a delivery bag with a unique barcode on it. That barcode corresponds with a specific order. After they finish packing their orders, they drop the bags off here. When I'm ready to check out, I use the Hema app, which is linked to my Alipay account.
Hema is also a membership club. If I join, the app remembers all of my purchases so it can personalize and improve my shopping experience the next time around. I can't wait to see how they try to entice me back here. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be too hard.
So thank you, everyone. So that was a small video about the e-commerce in general, how Alibaba has a success story in HEMA Store, but we do have now a lot of success stories even here in the market, in the UAE and everywhere. We do have a lot of different success stories. I'll take one story, which is in India, which is the 3rd largest e-commerce company, which is Beddington Mall. That is the value, is a best practice of Alibaba e-commerce system, and improve their online shopping experience and sales revenue by enabled multiple personalized recommendation scenarios on both the application and web portal. The solution they took, you can take not the full new retail, you can take some of the specific products that you needed in your new retail. That is one of the features. So data middle end platform and personalized recommendation engine in multiple. Now we have done our 3rd part, and we are going to our last part for today, which is cloud solution for oil and gas companies. you know, the engine of Alibaba ecosystem, and you know, the data is the engine of all of the works across all the world and all of the different businesses that we do have everywhere. So when we talk about Alibaba Cloud businesses, we have more than 21, 22 different companies inside the group. One of them is Alibaba Cloud for sure. We do have Tmall, Taobao, AliExpress, Xiaoyao, eMap as a map solution, and Financial, as everyone knows, and Financial, and as well below that the famous solution which is Alipay, and so on. So all of these different solutions has a lot of different data. These data you need to, in order to get more agile to the market and get always better performance from year to year, you need to do some manipulation in these data that you get in order to do where you need to improve yourself and where you need to fix the issues and see all of that information. So this, you need to build your data works or your data warehouses and start using the different products of Alibaba Cloud. Here where, you know, all of the oil and gas companies, they have a lot of different raw data, which they need to run a lot of information and a lot of data warehouses and algorithms to get, for example, like depending on with the market, how many gallon I need to produce every day, and so on. So such an information is important for them. The most important is to use the big data. So Alibaba Big Data has a lot of difference, starting from platform, building the data warehouse, and using the max compute, for example, compared to big data, to BigQuery from GCP, building the cloud warehouse and compute on GB level and exabyte levels, scale data, the big data and AI integrated across domain computing. As well, if you're looking for open source big data platform, so you can use the eMap Reduce, which will give you the features of based on open source system, provide elastic cloud computing and more benefits at lower cost. Then for the engines, so real-time compute using Flink, Holograph as well for interactive analytics, which is like Analytic DB. If you have a lot of different OLAP data and you need a better performance of running the queries on your database, then Holograph or Analytic DB will be the best product for you in that case. And as well, there is the AI recommendation, which is the Elasticsearch. So that is one of the most important features and on highly demand. So here is, I believe it will be a deep technical information, which I need to discuss it with you guys, and I'll just make it on a high level. So the core competency of max compute against the other competitors, and as well later we'll talk about as well the core competency of EMR solution, which is, as you see from here, for the data integration, it supports this, the Scoop, the DataX, the Flume, Logstash, Kafka as well. For data storage, you can use the object storage, Delta Lake, Kudu, the HDFS, and JindoFS as well from Alibaba. For the compute engines, you can use the MR, the Hive, the Spark, the Flink, the TensorFlow, Storm, and a lot of different solutions as well. So that will show you how the Alibaba Cloud Big Data solutions are actually huge and can cover all of the business needs that you're looking for. So this is the most important page that I would like to mention. So when we talk about the big data, starting from collecting the data, ingest the data, so we do have the data work, we have the DTS, we have IoT Hub, we have the Data Hub. IoT Hub is to take and collect the data from sensors, Data Hub for stream data ingest, DataWorks for batch data ingest, DTS for the real-time data transmission services from the databases. Then we need to store this data. So you store the data in object storage or relational database or analytic databases in case if they are an OLAP data or a lot of, you need the high performance to run it on over that data. Table store, if there is no SQL data, you need to store it. MongoDB as well the same. GDB for graph database, and Redis for caching memory databases. Once we have stored the data, we need to analyze and do process on these data. So we have max compute to process the petabyte level of data warehouses, which we have created using DataWorks and so on. You have EMAP-reduce, which is Hadoop on cloud. You have Holograph, which is the analytic DB for real-time data warehouses. You have the function compute, which is serverless compute, as I said in the beginning. If you remember, function compute to split your application in different functions, not to make it as one complete code deployed in one server. So it's called serverless compute or function compute. As well, you have the real-time compute for the stream from Data Hub for the stream data processing, for the media processing, and so on. You have the Pi for machine learning. You have Elasticsearch for search engine, and Graph Compute for the graph compute services. Once you have analyzed and did all the process on the stored data and collected data, then you need to start publishing this information for the end customer or for the company itself, for the management to see it. So they can use QuickBI to see all the graphs. They have Data V for live, big screen, virtualization. As well, they have used the AI recognition or artificial recommendation, the artificial intelligence recommendation. And as well, they can see it as a log services for the event analysis itself. So that was for the big data services. Now you will tell me that oil and gas companies, they will refuse to host their data outside on the public cloud, outside of the country, or even outside of their fence, right? So why I just mentioned that all of these information about the big data, because I need to tell you that Apsara stack, if you remember it, it gives you all of these features. So still oil and gas companies with that restrictions and limitation, but they need to have this performance from products, big data products, which if they need to build it by themselves on their own infrastructure on-prem, it will take a life and it will not be that tested. So they can take Apsara stack with big data focused, or even they can go with the agility with the big data bucket. So that can take a performance and all of the benefits out of this mature big data products in-house and like within their security reasons and concerns. So I would like to thank you everyone for today for being with us and participating with this webinar. And hopefully that we will keep doing periodical webinars such as this webinar, covering different topics based on your requirement and the market requirement and so on. So now it's a question and answer Q&A session. So I would like to receive from you your questions and I will be answering your questions. So either you can write it over question and Q&A, you can find it as a downside as an option in a chat, or you can as well send back us an emails for the communication and we will reply back to you. And we can even get in touch later on for any questions that you do have. So please feel free to ask now. If there is no further questions, Link can post our emails and our contact numbers as well, along with our Addington partner, all the details into the chat. And you can get in touch with us at any time if you do have any concernations, or you have any requirements, or you have anything else to discuss with us. We are free and happy to support you and give you all of the needed information. So thank you, everyone. Link, do you want to add anything?
No, it's very good. Thank you, everyone. If you see the survey in the chat box, please help to fill out the survey so we can contact you after. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you, Shubhashri. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.